Hey everybody, today I'm going to talk about the changes I would make if I restarted my poker journey. Starting off, I'd study GTO Wizard a lot sooner, that way I can understand the basic principles and improve my confidence at the poker tables. I'd also have a dedicated bankroll towards poker, meaning if I have any winnings, I would put it in that poker bankroll, that way I don't have to take from out of checkings. I'd also write down my hands, that way I can review them with a crew or coach that I would find at an earlier time rather than doing it 3 years deep into my poker career. And I wouldn't play online poker. This is just, it put me on tilt playing online poker. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just being in isolation. But growing up, I always wanted to play third base for the New York Yankees. Kind of random, but I think a poker player will be just fine. What's up everybody? Hope you liked the intro to this video. Something I want to start doing is integrating some AI into my videos. With the video today, it was something I did pretty quickly and it was my first day of messing around with the AI and I hope you guys liked it. For future videos, I'm gonna start trying to do like some fictional storytelling in the beginning of my videos that kind of tie into, that will be tying into poker stuff. So I'm very excited to use or try to be as creative as I can to come up with these fictional stories. But today, let's talk about today. Tonight we're gonna be going up to Blackhawk to play in a Bally's cash game. Super stoked, been sick, haven't been able to play too much poker. I mean, I haven't put out a YouTube video in about 3 weeks and we are officially 60 days away from the WSOP. If anyone knows who I can reach out to on if I can record at the WSOP, I believe that I cannot, but I've also seen big time YouTubers be able to record, but they're well known. So I don't know how that's gonna go. So if anyone has any details about that on recording at the WSOP, please comment down below. That would be very much appreciated. Okay, we're gonna be playing in the $500 Colossus event when we go. It's a beautiful Friday night here at Ballys Blackhawk and we are firing $300 at some 1-3 no limit poker. And to start things off, we pick up pocket sevens under the gun and we're gonna raise things up to our standard $10 and we get 3-bet to $20. The guy decides to just min click us and we're gonna make the easy call and head to a flop. I've been sick for a little bit, so unfortunately I haven't been able to play as much poker as I would like, but that's okay, we're getting back into it. And the flop is going to come Queen 9-10 all hearts. Not a great flop to start things off for us, and we look at our cards just to make sure if we have a heart or not, and we see 2 black cards. So he leads out and we're going to make the fold. Next hand, we pick up pocket aces. And this table really did not limp a whole lot. Throughout the night, you'll see in the video, there really wasn't much limping, but there was limping in this hand. We raise things up to 50, everyone folds, and we pick up a pot. And raising to 50, I believe there was one raiser, so we did We just raised to 50 and I don't know if I played that one right, but anyways, we pick up pocket 10s and there's an initial straddle and we raise things up to $25. It goes 3 ways to a flop with $76 in the middle. And the flop comes 3-4-5, not great. We decided to just check things over and we are in the big blind. The button is going to bet $50. I have overs. Range wise, I can't give you an exact of what I think he's got, but we're just gonna make the call as we have the overs. And you'll see what happens with the turn as there's 176 in the middle now. Starting to build up a pretty big pot here early as we have 320 in our stack. And the turn comes a jack of hearts. So now there's an overcard to our pocket pair and we check things over to the button who thinks for a second and he's gonna decide to check as well. And this is great news. I really liked seeing this as I think I definitely have the best hand. So he has about 100 behind and leading into 176. We just go all in for the rest of his stack as I am really confident that I have the best hand here. And sure enough, he tanks for a little bit. I cut out most of the tanking. That way we're just not sitting here watching someone try to make a decision. And he folds his cards, so like I said, I felt really confident that I had the best hand, and I wanted to get max value if he did have like something like 8s or 9s or even 7s. So moving on to the next hand, I really like how I played this, and I wouldn't play it any differently, but we pick up Queen 10 suited in the cutoff. Once again, there's straddlers, so we raise things up, and we go to a flop that comes Jack 8-4, 1 club. So we do have backdoor clubs. We also have a straight draw in there as a 9 would give us a straight, and it comes 6 of clubs, so really good card. And the flop checked, and now someone decides to lead out for $20. I have a lot of equity going to the river, so I actually decided to raise things up to $60. I just kind of 3x'd his initial bet. And I mean, if a club comes, we're feeling great. If a 9 comes, we're feeling even better if it comes like 9 of spades or something, or 9 of whatever. But it comes at 10, so we do make a pair, and it goes check, check, as we do have showdown value, but he ends up flipping over Jack 7, so he has top pair here, and we can't take this one. But next hand, we pick up Ace 5 suited. We're under the gun. We raise things up to $10. We get a caller from the cutoff, and then the button, sorry, not the button makes the call. Then the small blind decides to flick in the min raise to $20. Ace 5 suited. If you study GTO, you guys know Ace 5 suited is a hand that the solver absolutely loves. And I looked up this spot after, and it was actually worth 0 EV for me to either put in a raise, call, or fold. Folding's always 0 EV, but we raised things up to $75, which I really didn't want him to call, but I felt like being aggressive, and if we smash a flop, it can be a little disguised. So we 4-bet to $75, and everyone folds. So we picked that one up, and maybe being results oriented, but that felt pretty good to get in the 4-bet with Ace 5 suited. Next hand, we have Ace Jack off. We are the big blind. Someone raises $30, we make the call, and we are going 4 ways to a flop. A $30 raise, that's a big, a $120 pot in a 1-3 game, that's a big pot to start off with. So the flop comes King 6 deuce. We're the big. Small was also involved in there, and there was an initial straddler, so that's why the action was a little weird. But it goes check, 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 as it checks around, and the turn comes a pairing 2. So now we have a board of King 6 deuce deuce, 120 in the middle, and the small blind is going to start with a check. We're not going to do anything except check here, and now the river also is going to come a matching 6. So a board of King 6 deuce deuce 6. Guys, you know what time it is. Hero calling with ace high. You can tell that I'm about to lead out right here and take this pot down, but I don't. I check, whatever. I think we do have showdown value with a pot size of 120. We're okay with that. Anyways, the villain raises to, or bets $65, and we don't even think about it long. We're calling here. With 260 in our stack, we call, boom, fold, and check this out. Yeah, the guy that bet $65 ended up mucking his hand. Guess what he had? He had ace high, so this pot should have been chopped, but instead I take the $250. It was great because I made the call, and he just goes, "You're good." And I mean, I don't have to show my hand. I can muck my hand as well, but someone across the table was like, "You had ace high, didn't you?" And I was honest. I was like, "Yeah, I did." And he was like, "So did he." But no complaints from me here. And now we have ace jack off in the cutoff, and the hijack ends up raising things 16. I think about 3-betting, but I decide not to. I'm not sure why I didn't 3-bet, but I think it's fine. Anyways, the flop comes queen jack deuce with about 50 bucks in the middle. We bet $20 as we are last to act here. And we're gonna pick up a caller. I'll tell you how the end of this hand goes once we get there, obviously, but he calls. I'm not feeling great when there's a queen in a 1-3 game. Someone does call. People in 1-3, I feel like, play pretty straight up, including myself for the most part, but the turn comes a 4 of diamonds. Our stack size is also 435 now, so we're about $135 more than what we bought in for, and the river comes a jack. So now we have trips, which is great. And we're trying to get maximum value here with $90 roughly in the middle. We decided to just bet $40, which is just below half pot. He thinks this one over for a while. I cut through most of it, but at the end of the hand, he asked me if I had ace high beat, and maybe I should not have been honest, but I told him I had trips. This is just information I don't want to give the table of how I'm playing, because it's not just him that can pick up on information, but also other players. I know the player in seat number 6, he's a really good player. I've played with him a ton. He's really the only other player I've played at the table, and he's a very solid tournament player, and I've never played with him in a cash game, but it's just information I don't want to give off. Anyone can watch my YouTube videos and see how I play. But anyways, going to the final hand where we pick up King Jack off. There's some limps. We raise things up to $15 in the small blind, and the board is gonna come queen high. And we just check things over, whatever. Check our hand again, check things over, and the other villain checks, and the button checks, and we go to a turn that comes a blank. Guys, I didn't write down this last hand, as honestly it wasn't anything crazy, but I did want to put in a losing hand. Yeah, he bet pretty big here, but I wanted to put in a losing hand because I'm not just winning. As you can see, my stack size is about 525, and you'll see what I cash out for here in a second. It was a pretty solid session. It's hard for me to last more than 3 hours, and as you can see, I have about 483 in my stack, and it was super fun. Had a great time. Looking forward to playing in my next session. Take care, guys. At some point, I'll come out with a video that goes more into detail of the things I would do differently if I had to restart playing poker. I realized it was kind of rushed, and I didn't really get all my points across, but to be honest, I made the video before I did any voiceovers, so I had to rush through it, and I'm not about to restart a video, to be honest. But anyways, yeah, so I'll come out with a video describing more detail about that eventually. But I am about to go to New York City with Lindsay, so there will be no poker playing during that. As cool as it would be, though, it'd be absolutely so awesome to go to an underground New York City poker game. I definitely want to do that one day, but it won't be on this trip. And I want to go to Atlantic City because that would be awesome as well to play at the Borgata. I know they don't allow recording there, but I just want the experience. I think that'd be really dope. But anyways, this is the end of the video. So once again, guys, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, leave a like, comment on the video, whatever, if you feel like it. And take care, guys. See ya.